Data breach is something happening to personal data that shouldn't. It could be a breach of confidentiality if data is seen by someone who shouldn't see it, or an integrity breach if data is not complete, accurate, or up to date. It could also be a breach of availability if data is not there when it's needed, for instance, when needed in order to care for someone. There are 4 questions in the toolkit about data breaches. Mandatory question 6.1.1 asks whether your organization has a system in place to report data breaches. The data breaches can be serious, but they can be minor incidents or near misses with no harm done. Serious data breaches must be reported to the Information Commissioner's Office, but less serious ones don't have to be. However, you should document all data breaches, no matter if they're big or small. Your organization can learn from its mistakes and justify a decision not to report a data breach to the Information Commissioner's Office. It's good practice to document near misses as well, so that you can prevent these things happening again in the future. So, you should have a system in place to report data breaches, ideally a simple reporting form that staff know how and when to complete. And this question, 6.1.1, is answered by ticking the box to confirm that you have a reporting system in place. The other 3 questions about data breaches, 2 of which are mandatory for approaching standards, are about what you should do if you have had a data breach. And question 5.1.1 asks you to confirm that if your organization has had a data breach, that it's reviewed all of the processes that are in place that may have allowed the breach to occur, so that you can make changes so they don't happen again. If you've done that, tick it and save. And question 6.1.2 is a bit similar. It says that if your organisation has had a data breach, were the management team notified, and did they approve the actions plan to minimise the risk of recurrence or stop it happening again? And for both of those questions, if you haven't had a data breach, then you can tick it and put not applicable. Question 6.1.3 is about notifying the individuals who might have been affected by a breach. The Data Protection Act includes a duty on all organisations to report certain types of data breach to the Information Commissioner's Office, actually within 72 hours of becoming aware of the breach. Now, you don't need to report every breach to the Information Commissioner's Office. If it's likely that there will be a risk to people's rights and freedoms because of the data breach, if it's a serious one, then you must notify them. And if it's unlikely, then you don't have to report it. And in addition, if the breach is a serious one and is likely to result in a high risk of adversely affecting individuals' rights and freedoms, such as their damage to their reputation, financial loss if you've had a hack and their bank account details have been stolen, for instance, or it could lead to unfair discrimination or other significant problems for a person, you must tell those people without undue delay so that they can do something about it. And if you're unsure about whether to report it or not, the DSPT has a reporting tool that can give you guidance to know whether or not you should report it. And there's a link here to guidance about data breaches from the Information Commissioner's Office. And also just to say that Digital Care Hub also has staff guidance about data breaches that you can download and adapt for your organization. So I'm going to imagine in this instance, we haven't had a data breach, so I'm going to put not applicable and tick those boxes.